Hey everyone, my name is Kim and welcome back to my channel. On today's episode of Kimi Pang Talks, I'll be talking about the main reason I decided to join the healthcare industry, not specifically as a pharmacist but as a healthcare professional, and most importantly, what you're here to watch is what I wished I knew before I joined the NHS. I would really appreciate an early thumbs up, and if you haven't already, do click the subscribe button below so you'll be in the loop when a new video gets uploaded on my channel weekly. Without further ado, let's begin. The reason I wanted to become a healthcare professional was because I wanted to help people. And yes, it does sound like a very cliche answer that people write in their personal statements, but it's actually the truth. And I can say that that's the same for most people in this line of work. There are days where I feel like my role as a pharmacist makes such a small difference in someone's lives. But retrospectively speaking, that small difference actually means something to the receiving end, and that's the patient. So seeing that small difference positively impact a patient's journey from being admitted into hospital to the point of discharge, going home to their families, I'm glad that I was able to be a part of that, making that contribution to someone's experience in hospital, because being in hospital isn't the best place to be. So having positively impacted that just makes me feel happy and satisfied with the work that I'm doing, and that's why I'm still in this line of work. Now more than ever, we've received so much public appreciation, and this came in the form of things like thank you baskets, donations, simple things like handwritten cards from family members of patients we've looked after in hospital, and even things like clapping for the NHS. It's just really nice to see that people are so supportive and so positive even in this pandemic. Speaking as a healthcare professional, we joined this line of work not expecting anything in return. We wanted to help people and make that small difference in someone's lives. And very randomly, myself, a Malaysian, got featured in the Daily Express newspaper, showing the diversity of the NHS and how we're all working together to fight this pandemic. On the days we go to work feeling so low and just ready to give up, the appreciation and support that we've received really does boost our team morale, because it reminds us of the very first reason we decided to become healthcare professionals. With every positive comes a negative, and this was what I wished I knew as the 18-year-old me before I decided to do a degree relating to healthcare, earning money, and what it's like working in the NHS. Bear in mind that I've only experienced in hospital pharmacy, so if it's any different to your experiences as any other healthcare professionals, do let me know in the comments below. One of the things that you hear about the NHS all the time is that we're always short of staff. And that can be due to a number of reasons. First reason being that some people do find jobs elsewhere, leaving gaps in the previous hospital. And that's okay, because sometimes there just aren't that many job opportunities in those hospitals that they were in before. But the problem arises where the gaps can only be filled when the person has actually left the hospital that they were in. So imagine how much lag time that's gonna be when it comes to opening up applications, interviews, shortlisting, applicants potentially rejecting offers and needing to then reopen application stages again, and then potentially filling up the gaps. And that process can take up to a few weeks or even a few months, depending on how urgent or how desperate that specific hospital is in hiring staff members. And that makes up the first reason on why we're always short of staff. Second reason being that we're always gonna have staff sickness. Especially in this COVID pandemic, everyone's gonna get sick because of how infectious the virus is spreading. So of course we're gonna get staff sickness. Even before COVID, we're already getting staff sickness from random things like people lifting boxes and hurting their backs. So anyway, two of those issues alone will already cause major problems when it comes to making up the ward rotas. Then there's going to be pressure from above expecting you to be covering more wards than needed, and you're going to have less time to do any progressive learning, professional development. So down the line, you're not going to be happy and everyone's not going to be happy. Remembering reason 1 and reason 2, now we're going to talk about annual leave. For hospitals that are already short of staff, they can't afford for more people going off annual leave, because that would mean that the department would be left empty and we wouldn't be able to run a safe and effective service. So eventually, people are told to sell their leave or carry it over to the next tax year, but who knows whether we're going to be able to take the annual leave anyway. down the line, I wouldn't be surprised if people start thinking about leaving the NHS. I can see people starting to burn out physically and mentally just because of the huge workload that's thrown onto their shoulders because of the amount of staff we have in the hospital. And that's just not okay.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it.
We did talk about the positive side of things and healthcare, and the main reason we wanted to join the NHS was to help people. But to what extent do we need to put our work before ourselves, and whether it's all worth it? So I've been asking myself this question countless of times now on the days that I feel like I've had enough. But of course, I'm still in this line of work and I'm still happy with what I'm doing. It might change in the upcoming years, so who knows? And we will see. Alright guys, we've come to the end of my video. I hope that I've shared some useful insights to what it's like working in the NHS and what it's like working in this healthcare industry. If you enjoyed this video, do click the like button below and drop me a comment to tell me what you think. And I will see you in the next week's video. Bye!